Hello Wuthering Waves players, this is 12th Harbinger and welcome to my complete Roccia guide. After playing her for several hours in the trial mode, I have made this build guide which includes everything you need to know about her. Her kit, weapons, echoes, teams, rotations and more. So without any further ado, let's jump right into it. Just a small note, I will be referring to her as Rococo, her Japanese name, because I find her name a bit difficult to pronounce. Rococo has a 4-hit basic attack combo. To make it easy to understand her kit, I will start with the Forte circuit instead of going in order. Rococo can hold up to 300 Forte circuit stacks called as Imagination. It is divided in 3 parts, 100 Imagination each. She can get 100 Imagination from her intro skill, 100 from her resonance skill, she gains some from her normal attacks. The stage 4 of Rococo's basic attack combo restores 100 Imagination at once. This is important because casting Rococo's intro skill lets her directly do her 4th basic attack hit. To use her Forte stacks, you need to be in a special state called Beyond Imagination state. There are 2 ways to enter this state. One is by using her resonance skill and the other one is by doing a charge attack. On using the resonance skill, Rococo summons a small tornado that pulls the enemies and she enters into Beyond Imagination state by going mid-air. Do note that this state will end when she is not in air. She can be easily knocked down, so that's why we have the heavy attack or charge attack method to enter this state. While in this state, she can consume 100 Imagination to do these plunge attacks. The first and second hit will launch her in mid-air again so that you can continuously do all 3 attacks. The action of these attacks is considered as basic attack and damage from them is considered as heavy attack damage. Rococo's Liberation deals a good amount of damage which is considered as heavy attack damage. Additionally, for every 0.1% of Rococo's crit rate over 50%, this skill increases the attack of all resonators in the team by 1 point for 30 seconds, up to 200 points. You need a total of 70% crit rate to get the maximum amount of buff. The Liberation has a cost of 125 and a cooldown of 20 seconds. As I said earlier, casting the intro skill will give her 100 Imagination and you can do the 4th basic attack hit right after this skill. Her outro skill gives 20% havoc damage amplification and 25% basic attack damage amplification to the next character you switch into for 14 seconds or until the character is switched out. In her first inherent skill, casting resonance skill or heavy attack increases Rococo's attack by 20% for 12 seconds. Rococo's second inherent skill makes her very unique. After using Rococo's outro, the utility skill of the next resonator will be replaced by a special skill that lasts for 14 seconds or until the resonator is switched out. This special skill will create a tornado and pull the nearby enemies. Utility skills are the skills like grapple, sensor, etc. This is a very unique addition from Kuro games and I like the fact that they are trying out new things. The crowd control from this skill is also quite good. For her talent priority, prioritize her Forte circuit followed by her Liberation, then resonance skill, then intro and basic attacks. You can choose to skip the intro and basic attacks or slightly level them. Moving on to her weapons. The best weapon for her is going to be a signature weapon, Tragic Comedy. It has a base attack of 587 and gives 24.3% crit rate. Additionally, it increases attack by 12% and gives 48% heavy attack damage bonus for 3 seconds after casting a basic attack or intro skill. The effect doesn't stack. You can basically have 100% uptime on this skill as the Forte circuit attacks are also basic attacks. The damage is considered as heavy attack damage but the action is basic attack. Xiangliao's signature, where it is handled, is a second best option. The passive, except from the 12% attribute damage bonus, is wasted on her but it works like a crit stat stick. Similarly, the standard 5-star weapon Abyss Surges is the next best option. The energy regen from its passive is useful. Aside from that, it works as an attack stat stick. For 4-star options, I don't know why Kuro didn't include any debuff in Rococo's kit. As without it, the new craftable gauntlet Legend of Drunken Hero won't work on her. This would have been her best 4-star option, but we can't do anything about it unless Kuro decides to change her kit on the day of release. The gacha weapon Celestial Spiral is her best 4-star weapon option as it has attack percent and provides additional attack and resonance energy from its passive. The BP weapon Stoner is a great crit rate stat stick. Hollow Mirage, another gacha weapon, provides a good amount of attack. Aside from these weapons, we don't have any other options. You can use a Legend of Drunken Hero for its base stats or Gauntlets of Night as placeholders. Moving on to her echoes. There are 2 best echo sets for Rococo, that are Midnight Veil and the Moonlit Clouds. The first one, Midnight Veil, is good for teams with Havoc DPS characters like Camellya, Rover, Dungeon and for more damage from Rococo. The 2-piece effect of this set gives 10% Havoc damage bonus and the 5-piece effect deals a massive 480% AoE damage on casting outro and gives the next resonator 15% Havoc damage bonus. and the echo skill you would want to use is a Nightmare Impermanence Heron, as it gives havoc and heavy attack damage bonus, and most of Rococo's damage is considered as heavy attack. The Moonlit Clouds with the old Impermanence Heron echo skill is a general set that you can use in any team. It results in lower DPS from Rococo but more buff to the main DPS. And for echo stats, crit rate or damage on the 4 cost echo, double havoc damage bonus on the 3 cost echo. Unlike DPS characters that use echo sets which give attribute damage bonus, Rococo uses supportive sets. So using a combination of 1 attack and 1 havoc damage bonus on the 3 cost echo will be worse than double havoc, but it can work. And attack percent on the 1 cost echo. For substats, try to get around 10 to 20% energy regen to have access to a liberation in every rotation. Then look for crit stats followed by attack percent, heavy attack damage bonus because most of her damage is considered as heavy attack, and flat attack. One more thing I wanted to mention for someone like Camellya that gets a lot of havoc damage bonus from her kit, the difference between double havoc and a combination of 1 havoc and attack percent on the 3 cost echo is negligible. With her signature weapon, the double attack or the combination of 1 attack and 1 havoc slightly outperforms the double havoc on 3 cost echo. With the new Midnight Veil set providing 15% havoc damage bonus, the 3 cost attack echoes can be better. Moving on to her rotations. Rococo's rotations are quite fast and simple. After trying her for quite a while in the trial, I found her best rotation. Start with her intro skill, immediately followed by a basic attack to cast her 4th basic attack and get 100 imagination. Then use a liberation to get the attack buff. Use a resonance skill to enter beyond imagination state and press the basic attack button thrice. If you get interrupted while doing the 40 attack combo, you can go back to this state by hitting an enemy with a charge attack. Use the echo skill and outro to your main DPS. Moving on to her team comps. Rococo fills a slot of sub DPS with quick rotations to give her outro buff to the main DPS. She gives havoc and basic attack damage buffs, so you might have already guessed who is her best teammate. Yes, it is Camellya, who is a havoc character and deals mostly basic attack damage. She can be used with any other havoc DPS characters like the Havoc Rover and Dungeon. She can also be used with any character that deals a good amount of basic attack damage, someone like Hyper Carry Ankur. I forgot to test it, but I heard she has many swap cancel windows, so you can use her with other swap cancel carries like Changli, Ankur, Havoc Rover, etc. Since Rococo has fast rotations, you can use her in any team as a Moonlit set holder if you don't have the better options. The attack buff from her liberation is also very useful. And for the last slot, you need a sustained support like Shorekeeper, Varina or Baiji. Moving on to her sequences. Rococo's sequences are quite good. The first sequence gives her an additional 100 imagination and 10 concerto energy after using her resonance skill. This shortens her rotation a bit by letting you skip the 4th basic attack after intro. It also makes her immune to interruptions when casting her 40 attacks. I am really salty about this part. This should have been included in her base kit, as getting interrupted while casting her 40 attacks is common and very frustrating. Anyways, this part of the sequence makes it really good. While it is not a direct damage upgrade, it is a huge quality of life upgrade and makes the rotation short and consistent. The second sequence gives up to 40% havoc damage bonus to the whole team by doing her 40 attacks 3 times. With this buff, make sure you run at least 1 attack percent 3 cost echo on your main DPS. The third sequence and all the other sequences beyond it are damage upgrades to Rococo. The third sequence increases Rococo's crit rate by 10% and crit damage by 30% for 15 seconds after casting intro skill. The fourth sequence increases the damage multiplier of her 40 attacks by 60% for 12 seconds. The fifth sequence increases the damage multiplier of her resonance liberation by 20% and heavy attacks damage multiplier by 80%. Not that much of an upgrade, this is her worst sequence. In the sixth sequence, after casting a liberation, she gets a 12-second buff. Her 40 attacks will ignore enemies' defense by 60% and it basically lets her continuously do her special 40 attacks. Overall, from my experience of playing her, Rococo is very fun, unique and strong character. She has very fast rotations. The only problem I faced while playing her is getting interrupted while doing her 40 attacks. To fix it, you need her first sequence, which sucks because this should be built in her kit. She is the best support for Camellya, however we have a strong alternative for her and it is Sanhua. So Rococo is not a must pull, so it's fine to skip her. And that's all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and share the video and subscribe for more Wuthering Waves content. Thanks for watching.